thanks and welcome back to another video of American Garage TV. Here at Jim's Speed Shop, we are working on the 64 Fairlane. We thought we were done with it, but it had to do something else. This is the original Motorcraft carburetor. This is much like we're hoping the same diaphragm will be the same as a Holly, because we have that in stock. And then we've got this down here, which should be our power valve. So we're going to open this thing up. And the reason why we're doing this, we took it off, is because it was leaking through here. So most likely the diaphragm is done. And then there's a heat tube on the passenger side. And we noticed that the nut is missing where it bolts up into the manifold. That's gone. But it shouldn't present any vacuum leak. Oh, okay. There she is. Alright. How's our gasket? That's not bad. And then there's our power valve. We're going to grab our power valve too. Let's open this up. These are all the same screws. Hey, you know what we did over the weekend? We hit our first 1,000. Thank you, all you who are already currently subscribing and following us. Most appreciated. Thank you very much. I just wanted to be sure and officially thank you. Oh, look at that! Just popped right off. There's our spring. There's our pump. There's a little diaphragm here. We have these in stock too. I think I'm going to change that out. All right, so let's see here. Oh yeah, there she is. See that right there? The pump is no good, so that's why she's leaking. This actually is not bad. We're gonna clean and file this, and then let's see what she's got for a power valve. Hey, you know what? That's pretty fresh. That sucker was just put in recently. 7.5. And that makes sense. So that's basically regulated for about 14 inches of vac. Look at that. Yeah, that looks a little rippled in there. We can compare that with a fresh one. So this goes like that. That goes around like that. And that is, go ahead and catch this here. That is on the inside. See that? You just quarter turn that. Boom, comes right off. We'll set that aside. So we're going to clean all that up. You know what? I'm going to grab a power valve and I'm going to dig in the inventory and make sure I have a pump diaphragm. And why don't you put them on ice and we'll be right back. And welcome back. So we got all our parts. Looks like we might have everything necessary. We're putting in this 7.5 power valve. It's close enough. Get that in there tight. Okay, that's done. I pulled out this little doodad here. Little rubber flapper diaphragm, and these are all the power valves. Let's see, maybe this kit here. You know what? Second thought, why don't we just stick on a 1050 Dominator and call it done, huh? Alright, and I know I've got those in stock. Now here are a couple of pumps. Here's one exposed. It's a little different right there, but as long as I hit... Nope. You know what? Nope, look at that, the difference. We got to source out a pump diaphragm for her. And I'm probably going to have to get more of these. Well, that kind of puts a wrench in our... Yeah, we'll just tap and drill or JB weld the Holly pump. No, I'm kidding. See, they look similar, but they're not. And I think I might have that in another box. We need these. So I guess I'm going to have to make some phone calls. That's it for now. We're going to have to catch them on the rebound. But look at this in here. I think looks like right there is cracked. Can they see that?
Focuses.
Let's see. Boom. Yeah, you can see it right over there. No, that's not helping. Yep. Yeah, there's a little crack. All right. Well, actually, we're going to call a local store and see if they have a rebuild for this, because if they do, it's going to have this little doohickey. So I'm going to make some phone calls. Alrighty. Welcome back. We got lucky. We had parts in stock. So again, here is our old one. You could see the crack right there. That's why she's leaking. This is our new one. She's cleaned all the way around. And we also had this little doodad. This is just worn out. The rubber isn't so much intact. You can see it's cracked there. It's falling apart. This is called a rubber type umbrella. Now, we had one in stock. Unfortunately, it is, clean that off. It is, it doesn't have the little pull tab. So what we've done is, I've got a ton of these things. I've got some dialithic grease here. Just a little dab. Get that on there. And we're going to insert this guy in there. Now I just took a little, I grinded the tip a bit so it's not sharp, because you don't want to tear this thing up. Make sure that goes in there. And just work that in there. Just be patient. Bam! That is in there. Okay. Bam! All right. That's good. Okay, that goes in there like that. And this guy is the spring that goes right behind. Just pull that out just a little bit. That goes right there. That goes down like that, just like that. Then we take our pump again, just get our position and our alignment correct. Just hold all that assembly together, and she's back in there. There we go. Take our screws. Too bad I didn't have any new screws. These things look like they've been laying around for a number of years. We changed our power valve. We've got a fresh one in there. Just want to make sure that everything is fresh. Everything's new and replaced. Don't want to take this back apart. Snug them all down and then torque them down by hand carefully, crisscross pattern. What is this? Are we going to answer the phone? Let's see, this is Speed Shop. Can I help you? Oh, Jesus. One of those goof. How many business out there, or what businesses are out there watching, and you get those soliciting phone calls? Your Google is at risk. We can fix it. Okay. Now we'll just get the code to put this thing back on. All right. Good as new. Of course, there's no spring on it, and what we'll do is we'll go ahead and lube that up. She's back in business. Looks a little dirty, but you know, it didn't come in here for a carburetor overhaul. And I got a fresh gasket. This thing is shot. It is back there on the other desk. So luckily I had everything in stock that is needed, and I've already overnighted parts. So without further ado, let's go ahead and we're going to get this thing back on the car and up and running. Hey, welcome back. So our carburetor is back installed. Got a fresh gasket on there. I gotta find my spring kits. The one that came off the back is a little weak, and then this one just wrapped around here. It was an extra spring because this didn't have enough tension. So I've got 2 kits around here somewhere. That fell down. Great. Anyways, and also want to direct your attention, I think I left it on the back there. If you look in here, we've got this cheap little plastic filter. She had 2 of them on there. Here it is right here. We don't do plastic. If they crack, they leak, and catch on fire. So you don't need 2 of them. We're going to get her a metal one. This is 5/16. And speaking of 5/16, this tube here, they always cut them off and they put it on with 1 clamp. That's just going to slip off. Then you're going to have a fuel leak. So this is a double flare. What we're going to do is we've got this in here. We had it sticking out about 1/8 of an inch. And then, boom, release that. And that starts to bubble it. And what that's going to do, that bubble, let me get this out of here. There we go. It's not the greatest, but we'll go ahead on the table and fix that. This is going to create a little lip, so that way when you clamp this down on the hose, she's going to lock on. Okay? Because before it was just smooth, plus this thing looked like the Titanic, so we cleaned that up. So without further ado, we are going to go ahead and get some new clamps. I'll probably put some perma clamps on here. We'll show you that in a minute. I got to dig up for a 5/16 filter, and I got to find my spring kit. So don't you go away. I'll be right back. So we've installed a bracket here. Before their spring, it just hooked up anywhere over here. It was not original. This one's more positive. We've got a nice firm spring right here, not too firm. And then we don't want her to have to use all her might to match the gas pedal. We got another spring back there, and then we've got a fresh gasket here. So we got our new power valve, our new diaphragm, our umbrella. We've got our, where is it, back here? Yep. We're going to install this. We've got our bubble flare over here. This is going to go in here. We're going to tighten that up. And then that will go straight down over here. And again, we're going to use what's known as a perma clamp. We'll show you those in a minute here. So this guy goes here. And we're waiting on our metal fuel canister. Unfortunately, nobody had that in stock, so we had to order that. So that has to have a little bend, and we'll bend that back over there. And then she should fit in just perfect. Okay, there. And then, oh, there we go. It's all nice and clean. No rush. Alright, that goes in there. That goes right there. Everything clears. That bends up. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have that fuel filter come off of here. You can see down here. There's our light. Okay. So we're going to replace all these hoses. They're a little old and shabby. Get the perma clamps on here. Here's our feed. There's this cheap plastic filter. We're going to have it filter before the pump. So the pump, darn it, we have to do this too. See, we have to take this off and flare that in just to ensure that it doesn't slip off. Somebody cut that. Tell you what, this used to be one monolithic steel pipe to feed the carburetor back in the day. They didn't have any hose there. They didn't even have any inline filters. So those are on their way. We're going to cut some hose. We pretty much know what to do over here. We're going to make this hose line over here, flare that, make that connection. Once that's done, all we need to do is put in the filter. Bob's your uncle, and this thing is ready to fire up. So unfortunately, we're going to have to get back to you on the next working day. Thanks for sticking along. These are permaclamps. Like I said, we're going to put our filter before the fuel pump. We wanted to take that one lower hose off and put a flare on the end, but my God, it was starting to turn the nut that's actually welded. It's monolithic with the pump. So we're going to leave that alone, and we're going to double up the clamps. So that's a permaclamp. You want that to go on snug, okay, not loose. And then you come in here and boom, that's a permaclamp. That's it. So when you want to take that off, you'll cut this off, twist that a bit until she comes off. But for now, she's on there. She ain't going anywhere. And then we're going to fall back again. Like I said, we're going to get one and two. So we're going to put this in. Slide these out of the way. And then feed that over there. That goes that way. Comes down. That comes up. Goes that way. Goes this way. Goes in there. Ta-da! That just sucks that I didn't have that filter in stock, because I know I had one. It's probably in there. I just buried. Okay, so that's fairly snug. And again, the reason why I don't care for these, because they're plastic. If they crack for any reason, they start to spew fuel all over the place. So park that right over there. And then you got that Windex. See that as that comes down? Not like that. Yeah. Where's that little Windex there? Okay. Just put these on first, huh? Yeah, don't forget to put on your clamps first. Okay. And work that down. You're gonna have both of them side by side. I can get down just a little more. There you go. Okay. Stay. All right, I'm gonna start this one down here. See? Right there. Get my tool in here. Just get that in place first. Flip that around and then lock it. Okay, that's on there. That's one. And put that right next to it. And I just want to ensure that this guy does not come off. Because again, it's there's no bubble flare on it. That ain't going anywhere. So we'll leave that closed right now. I mean, we could take that off, but we don't have the filter in. We're going to tighten this up. We got our new gasket. Then we've got our air filter. How's the filter's okay? Not bad. And then that goes on there. But before we do that, we need to tighten that up, and that's a 1/2 inch. And always use a line wrench on these. I had to clean that up. Somebody used some vice grips. This is a line wrench. It's used for brake lines and fuel lines. And that's why. You see that? And they will not spin on the nut. Okay, that's good. And ruin ruin the flare nut. And then that's clear. That's it. That's in. Go ahead and replace the air cleaner. Notice that the air cleaner is fine. Don't need to touch that. And then she used to have a little heat tube. That's gone. And she's rocking on something. Oh, this guy. See that right there? Oh boy.
Where it says front, it's supposed to be facing directly.
Okay, see this right here? Here's another tube. There was a tube that goes from there to a vac. Now that's not going to ruin your vacuum, but that's inside the. Okay, and this right here. That is that's bent out. So this is the tube. I'll move that forward. That's the tube for, I believe, the. Isn't that the choke?
Yeah.
There we go. There's the front right there. All right. 260 cubic inches. Wow. She don't putt. The nut is up here. There we go. All right. Well, boys and girls, hope I didn't offend anybody out there. We shall reconvene tomorrow when we get the filter in. We'll hook that up and we'll fire up for you. And this baby's ready to go home. Put her battery back in. We had it on trickle charge, and that about wraps that up today. We will see you. Well, for you, it'll be in the flash. See you in a bit. Stay tuned.